What's going on, YouTube? Back with another reaction, man. This is continuing about the David stuff, man. This junk is crazy. Let's see what
I
this
just
junk's
wanted to
talking about.
briefly give you the latest information in the David case and the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. I know I've made a couple videos yapping about this, and it's a really genuinely difficult topic to even talk about because
Oh,
of
for
how
sure.
disgusting it is. But the reason why I keep bringing it up is because there is a not small number of people, a relatively strong movement, the dipshits for David, that are constantly trying to brainwash people into believing that David has been framed. They keep regurgitating that, well, they haven't found him guilty yet, thus we know he's innocent and he has been framed, he's actually a victim in all of this, and they're trying to bury all of the real information and muddy everything, even though so much of this evidence is publicly available evidence. That,
That's
like,
what I'm
not
saying.
even all the stuff that's in the case right now, there is so much information you can find that if you have a functioning frontal lobe will lead you to one conclusion. David
Literally.
is pure evil, and every new piece of information from the prosecution here is beyond disturbing. So I just blabber about this because I want to at least provide the real facts about the case here
Yeah.
to try and combat all of the incorrect gobbledygook people are spitting out there, this mumbo jumbo from this group that for some reason wants everyone to be supportive of David and like plug their ears to what the prosecution is bringing forth. It's fucking lunacy.
Mark, the details alleged by prosecutors are frankly disgusting. In this preliminary 8-page brief signed by LA District Attorney Nathan Hochman, prosecutors paint a picture of a rising pop star who they say lured a young girl and then eliminated her when she threatened to expose their relationship and derail his fame.
This had been brought up previously with the potential
My
motive
nigga.
behind David's
This is
killing
crazy.
of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He had known her since she was 11 and sexually abused her, and he didn't even hide this deplorable situation here. She had appeared in like streams, there's videos of the two of them together. His community was even aware of her, but according
Which is crazy because I didn't know about David until this situation happened. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't heard none of his music. I ain't see him popping around, bro. His social media is so fucking big, bro. Like it's so many niggas on this shit. So it's like I ain't know nothing about David until this Celeste situation, bro. And the fact that like she was on stream and y'all had all these evidential clues and shit like that of him being weird and y'all niggas still supporting him,
to
y'all
the
niggas are
mods, they didn't know that she was a child. They were unaware of her age, nor did they know that she was reported missing. I don't know if that's true or not, or if the mods are just trying to cover
I don't think that's fucking true, but say shit.
their own ass so they don't end up on the hook
Okay.
and in trouble. Couldn't tell you, but the point is, there is a lot of evidence with these two publicly together in photos, videos, all of that. And at some point, it is alleged that she made a threat about, making it more known that she's a child. She is a minor. And thus, the prosecution alleges that the
Like
motive
child
was
child.
David wanting to save his career
Like
because
people be calling 18 and 19-year old. No, no, this is he wasn't even 17. What she was 14? And then you knew her since she was 11? You grown as hell. You talking to an 11-year-old at what age was he? I don't know, 20 or something like that, maybe? Bro,
if that information got out, it
you're
would
literally
damage
insane.
his blossoming career. So, in order to try and save that, he killed her.
In court for the second time today, attorneys for the singer, whose real name is David Burke, fought to seal the brief that prosecutors believe lays out a specific timeline and evidence of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez's murder. Prosecutors allege Rivas Hernandez and Burke first met when she was just 11 years old, and they have explicit sexual photos of the two. The brief also
What?
claims Burke stabbed Celeste several times and watched her bleed to death.
Now, in the previous
There's no
information
fucking
that was
way,
provided
bro.
by prosecution, they
This
were
shit is
talking about
just-
the child pornography that they found on David's phone. Now they are also saying that there are explicit sexual photos of David and Celeste together.
crazy.
So that is probably the child porn that they were referring to
That's
then.
so crazy, bro.
Also saying that the two had met when she was 11. And the autopsy report was recently made public, where
11.
the cause of death was revealed to be sharp objects through the torso. So they are alleging that David stabbed her multiple times and then watched her bleed to death.
In the days after prosecutors claimed David had slaughtered Rivas Hernandez, they say he purchased tools to dismember her body. Prosecutors say Amazon delivered 2 chainsaws, a body bag, and blue inflatable swimming pool to David's home, all ordered under a fake name. Prosecutors say David cut off 2 of her fingers because one of them had a tattoo of his name on it. Prosecutors also allege they have text messages that discuss sex between the two, her pregnancy, and an abortion.
Every
Pregnancy, abortion, bro. And she is 14 years old, my nigga. What are we talking about? My head just can't wrap around. I just can't wrap around the fact of like
new piece of information that comes out from this case here is just shockingly evil. Like, this guy is the fucking devil, man. Holy. It's unthinkable. Just actual unfathomable evil.
That's what I'm saying.
There's allegations that she was pregnant and also had an abortion, and they also have evidence of text messages exchanged between David and Celeste about sex. There were some headlines floating around earlier, like yesterday, that apparently said that, this is from Celeste to David, that all they do is have sex and hang out.
That's all they do? That's all you do? She was 13 and he was 18. And when he was 11, so when he was 11, how old was he? That's like 2 years. That's what, 16? Talking to.
And she wants something more than that. That's so fucked up. This is a child that David is routinely sexually abusing. Now, the method of chopping up her body to try and hide it was never disclosed to my knowledge, but here the prosecution is saying that they found evidence that he had purchased chainsaws and an inflatable pool, and that's how he was dismembering her corpse. Her corpse was found in pieces in the trunk of his vehicle after roughly 5 months decomposing in there. And another thing is, with this information about her pregnancy and abortion, it reminded me that when this story was first breaking and I was first covering it, there were a lot of like screenshots being shared around of things David had said to his community, and one of them did mention a child on the way. Now, I don't imagine
11/7. What is that? September 11th, 2024. Me and that deleted user got a kid on the way.
Did mention a child on the way. Now, I don't imagine Discord screenshots from David are going to be anything the prosecution is going to be using in court in any big capacity. I imagine they have far stronger evidence than that. But even still, the fact that stuff like this exists is extremely alarming, and it is publicly accessible information here. To my knowledge, those screenshots, like the one where he said he had a kid on the way with @deleted_user, haven't been debunked as some kind of hoax or photoshopped or a user that was impersonating him. I haven't seen anything to that effect, but community members seem to think that he was joking about that it was just a bit of a goof about the kid on the way. Though, in light of what the prosecution alleges about Celeste being pregnant and abortion,
what type of jokes is these?
Seems like there's a chance it wasn't a joke. But again, I don't think Discord messages here are going to be something the prosecution is relying on. I imagine they have far more solid evidence. but I just wanted to mention this because it reminded me, and it is just another piece of publicly available information that is out there that is now having even more weight put on it because of what the prosecution has been alleging with everything they have.
And text messages where Celeste threatens to expose Burke and destroy his career. In July, months after prosecutors say he'd stabbed her to death, Burke placed her body in the inflatable pool he'd ordered to prevent her blood from spilling onto his garage floor and used a chainsaw to cut off her limbs.
The medical examiner's report released just last week had noted those pieces of blue plastic in Rivas Hernandez's remains. Prosecutors now say those pieces of blue plastic were pieces of the inflatable pool that they say David had placed her body in. Burke has pleaded not guilty. He will stay locked up in jail until his next court date in May.
I don't think that's some kind of big coinky-dink there,
so
that
crazy.
the blue plastic that was noted in that report from the body happens to also potentially match the inflatable pool that they allege he had purchased. And
that is all. Oh my goodness, they're cooking, and he's fried. Like, he's fried.
in addition to those chainsaws, like, I think if anyone's got their thinking caps on, and if you're actually bothering to pay attention to the case and actually look at the evidence, even the evidence that is publicly accessible, it should be an obvious conclusion here that David is not innocent. He is not some fucking angel, some saint that's been framed by a ne'er-do-well out there that's trying to, ruin David for their dubious schemes. David is pure evil. That's what I believe, and I think all of the evidence points to that fact as well.
Former prosecutor turned criminal defense attorney R.J. Dreiling says David's defense team will seize on one detail.
They note in their brief that David was sending text messages to Celeste after her death. They're going to use that to prove that, look, there's no way he knew that she was dead or responsible for it. He's still trying to communicate with her after her death.
That's a pretty fucking weak argument, if you ask me.
The weakest argument. He tried to still got that. Nigga, you know how many people still, like, nigga, that's literally could just, or he was trying to use that to cover up the fact that he did it. It could go both ways with that shit.
No. All of this evidence, it's hooey. It's a load of hooey, because the only fact that matters is David was sending her text messages after she was already murdered. Why would he do that if he knew she was dead? Wouldn't make any sense. Checkmate. Gotcha.
Like, nigga.
Like, that's trash. I think that is a complete trash argument, because this is clearly someone who is going to great lengths to try and hide this. Yep. Chopping up, dismembering her corpse, and stuffing it in a trunk. I imagine that even someone with only a handful of neurons could have come up with the scheme of still sending text messages even after death, to try and give himself an alibi. Like, no, look, guys, I didn't know. See, I sent messages when she was dead. I didn't know. It's, terrible. Who could have done this? We gotta find who did this. There's a maniac on the loose. Like, I think it is a terrible argument. Now, of course, they're paid to represent him. They have to do their job. I get it, I guess. But my point is, I don't think that's going to be very strong on their side. I just really don't. Anyway, as always, praying that there will be justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez here in this case. And just wanted to give you the latest update. That's really about it.
Yes, sir, indeed. Needed an update. I ain't gonna lie, because there's been so much information coming out. This shit's been crazy, bro.